Hello everyone and welcome to this session in which we would look at inventory turnover and days sales in inventory. What are those computation? What are those? Those are ratios. Ratios means taking two figure x divided by y. One number divided by the other number will get a response. Now the key is to understand what does this ratio tells us. Here's what I want you to think of ratios. Think of ratios as thermometers. If you have high temperature, what you do is you take your temperature through a thermometers. You want to know how high is your temperature, or if it's normal, not normal, on the high side, on the low side. Inventory turnover, or practically all ratio, this is what they tell you. It's a measurement of something. Now, inventory turnover, it's measuring something about your inventory. What is it exactly measuring? It's measuring how well you are turning over, how well you are moving your inventory. So in this session, what we will do is we would look at how we compute the inventory turnover, we interpret the inventory turnover, then how we use it in terms of analysis. How do we interpret this figure in a specific context? And we'll do the same thing for days, sales, and inventory. So remember, ratios are like a thermometers. You're just measuring something. What is that thing? For today, it's the efficiency, how efficient the company in managing their inventory. Let's go ahead and get started. Before we proceed any further, I have a public announcement about my company, farhatlectures.com.
Farhat Accounting Lectures is a supplemental educational tool that's going to help you with your CPA exam preparation as well as your accounting courses. My CPA material is aligned with your CPA review course such as Becker, Roger, Wiley, Gleam, Miles. My accounting courses are aligned with your accounting courses broken down by chapter and topics. My resources consist of lectures, multiple choice questions, true-false questions, as well as exercises. Go ahead, start your free trial today.
Starting with inventory turnover, as I mentioned, how many times the inventory is turnover. Turnover means sold and replaced over a period of time. Usually it's measured over a year. This way we can compare a year, 1 year to another. Simply put, if we're looking at a timeline, if this is a year, let me draw a straight line. If I can draw a straight line, how many times we sold and replaced the inventory, sold and replaced, sold and replaced, sold and replaced, sold and replaced, sold and replaced. So in this example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, happens to be 7. Now, do we want this turnover to be high just by knowing this, or do we want this turnover to be low? As a merchandisers, as a company, as a business, we want to turn over our inventory as many times as possible, as long as we are making a profit. Now, if we want to sell our inventory fast, we can lower our prices, but that's not really very smart. So it's a crucial metrics for managing inventory and understanding the efficiency of the company's operation. So how do we use this inventory turnover? We compare company A turnover to company B turnover, and we can tell which company is turning their inventory better. But again, this is only one measurement of things. Now, how exactly do we compute this measurement? This is the formula. We'll take cost of goods sold, which is an income statement number, and we'll divide the income statement by the average inventory. So this is an income statement and this is a balance sheet. Now, cost of goods sold is the cost attributable to the production of the cost of goods sold by the company. The average inventory is computed as the beginning of the year plus the end of the year divided by 2, or year 1 plus year 2 divided by 2. Now, you might be asking, why do we use average inventory? The reason is this: because cost of goods sold is an income statement. Income statement figures cover a period of time. Balance sheet is figures are point in time. Therefore, to have a full year effect, we'll take the beginning of the inventory and the ending of the inventory, the beginning and the ending, and we'll divide them by 2 to find the average. The beginning plus ending divide by 2, and will give us an idea about our average inventory. Now, the best way to illustrate this is to basically look at an example, and let's assume, for the sake of illustration, our cost of goods sold is 1.2 million and our average inventory is 100,000. What does that mean? It means if we take 1.2 million divided by 100,000, the answer, our inventory turnover, is 12. What does that mean? It means we turn our inventory 12 times. Now, as I mentioned earlier, do we want this number to be higher or lower? We always wanted it to be higher, assuming we are making a profit. Now, how do we interpret this number? Well, high turnover indicate that a company sells and replaces its inventory quickly. The higher, the better, which is a good sign that our items, our product is selling. It means we are doing a good job. Our managing our inventory, as long as that's not at the expense of the profit. And that's why when we look at a ratio, it's only looking at the company from one perspective. What do I mean by this? Let's assume we have a very high inventory turnover. What I said that's good. But let's assume we looked at another ratio called gross profit. Gross profit percentage. It's how much profit we are making per sale. And if that number is low or below industry, or if we're incurring a loss, what good is the high inventory? So again, ratios, they cannot be looked at by themselves or be interpreted by themselves. They have to be taken within the context of the whole company. But generally speaking, a higher turnover ratio is better. Low inventory turnover suggests slower sales and potentially excessive inventory, which can lead to higher holding cost and risk of obsolescence. If something is not selling, well, few things could happen. It could becomes obsolete after a while, or you're going to have to lower the price to sell it. If you lower the price, you might either generate less profit or even incur a loss. So low inventory turnover is never a good sign. And if your inventory is not turning, is not selling, you need to know why. And that's why measuring inventory turnover will tell you a lot about your company. It will tell you a lot about your product. It will tell you a lot about your operation. And that's why it's important. Also, when you are performing an audit for a company, you look at these ratios. You look at inventory turnover. Why? Because you want to know if something is not selling, is the company writing it down? Because if something is not selling, you might have to write down this item because it might have lost utility. That's why it's not selling. Nobody wants it anymore. It means if you sell it, you might take a loss. We don't wait until you take a loss. You take the loss now. So inventory turnover is very useful. How is it used in analysis? Well, you never take a ratio by itself or anything by itself when it comes to financial statement ratios. You always have to benchmark. Compare the inventory turnover with industry standard or competitors. You have to compare company A to company B. You have to compare Walmart to Costco. You have to compare Amazon to Walmart. So you always compare it to something else or compare it to the industry. You could also look at the trend within the company. Monitor changes over time to identify pattern as improving or declining. So if your inventory turnover is constantly going up, that's a good sign. You're doing a good job. This is the trend. If it's going down, that's a bad sign. Well, if it's going down and the average industry is going up, that's a bad sign. If it's going down and also the industry is going down, but you're going down slower, that's not bad. Also, high inventory turnover indicate efficient inventory management and robust demand for the product. Knowing that your inventory is turning, it means you are managing your inventory well, you're not buying too much. That's one. Two, you are buying the right product because your product is selling. Also, when it comes to a broad product mix, analyzing different product lines separately can vary widely across different type of product. Now, when the company is doing this internally, they don't compute one inventory turnover. They look at various products to determine which product is selling faster than the other. And what's not selling, either discontinue it, put it on sale, let's get rid of it and not replace it. Now, another related ratio is Days Sales in Inventory, or DSI. It's related to inventory turnover. Basically, it's going to tell us the same thing, just rather than by turnover, it's going to give us this answer in terms of days. And a lot of people like this because we can relate to this, how many days something is taking to sell. So Days Sales in Inventory measures the average number of days that a company takes to sell its inventory during a specific period. So it provides an insight into how long inventory stays on hand before being sold. Now, people like this. How long on average this item sitting on the shelves before we sold it? That's a good measurement. I like that. It's easier to understand than inventory turnover. And it's very easy to compute. Once you compute inventory turnover, you take 365 divided by inventory turnover. If you remember, our inventory turnover was 12, and if you take 365 divided by 12, you will get 30.5 or 30.5 days. I'm going to put it 31 days. It means for this company that I computed the inventory turnover to be 12 earlier, it takes them around 31 days to sell whatever they buy on average. Now you want this number now to be low, and this is how they try to confuse you on an exam or the CPA exam or the CMA exam. Be careful. You want the turnover to be as high as possible. You want the DSI to be as low. So you want to hold the inventory the lower number of days possible. And how do you do that? By having a higher turnover. So if you increase the denominator, you're going to reduce the days sales and inventory. Now there's another way to compute days sales and inventory, which is what? Which is flipping the formula, putting average inventory on the top, cost of goods sold on the bottom, multiplied by 365, you will get approximately also 31 days. So our average inventory, for the sake of illustration, was 100,000, and the cost of goods sold was 1.2 million. If we take that, that's going to give us 0.08, and if we multiply this by 365, it's going to give us 30.4 days. Basically the same thing, 31 days. So what I'm trying to say, there's more than one way. In case your textbook or your CPA or CMA course shows you a different formula, it's the same thing. You're gonna come up to the same answer. Now, how do we interpret this? Again, here we want to have low days sales and inventory. Indicate that the company can quickly turn its inventory into sales, which is usually a positive, as it implies efficient inventory and strong sales performance. Now, I can tell you at some point, it means at some point when I computed this ratio for Apple, it used to take Apple 7 days. That's it. Their day sales and inventory was 7 days. I never saw anything lower. Maybe you do see something lower, but at some point it was 7 days. Maybe now it's longer, maybe lower, but 7 days, that's a lot. It means every 7 days they get rid of their inventory. High days sales and inventory suggests that inventory stays longer before being sold, which can be problematic as it ties up capital and may increase the risk of inventory obsolescence. Now, bear in mind, you cannot treat all inventory the same. For example, if we are talking about a grocery store sells food, and because you sell food, you're going to have a low DSI because you don't want the food to stay long. That's the nature of the beast. You sell it quickly. If you're selling smart TVs, if you're selling refrigerators, if you're selling microwaves, well, it's not going to sell as fast as tomatoes, so it's going to stay higher. So you cannot compare two companies in different industries when it comes to DSI. You have to compare companies in the same industry. Also, the same product as close as possible. Now, how do we use this for analysis? Well, lower DSI indicate less capital tied up in inventory, which is good. You don't want to have money tied up to your inventory. Why? Because you want to use the cash somewhere else. Because you don't want it to be tied up in inventory. If you can sell your inventory, sell it and get rid of it. Also, DSI helps us identify potential issues with overstocking or understocking. So, are we having too much of something? It's not selling fast enough, or are we selling something real quick that we need to make sure we have enough of it? Also, it could correlate DSI with sales trend to understand how quickly product are moving. Also, it gives us an idea about our sales performance. The product that's selling, it's going to be selling fast, which is good. It's going to tell us about where should we invest more in budgeting, advertisement, to keep pushing this product if this product is selling. So in this session, we looked at inventory turnover, which is a measure of what? How efficient the company is utilizing their inventory. How efficient is they're utilizing their asset, which is their inventory. You want the inventory turnover to be as high as possible. Day sales and inventory, how long it's taken you to sell. You want DSI to be as low as possible. Always take everything within a context. And what I'm going to do now is ask you to go to Farhat Lectures, look at additional MCQs, additional resources that's going to help you understand, solidify your knowledge, whether you are an accounting student, a finance student, a CPA candidate, a CMA candidate, or just taking a course for professional development. Invest in yourself. Good luck, study hard, and of course, stay safe.